Next comes fiver, I think. Temperance. Life will not go well. These are all separate principles. The principle of temperance. The principle of life will not go well. The principle of the horror show. The principle of the feast of offal. No, that which must be born. The principle of that which must be born, and then the principle of the feast of offal. Those are, I call that the fiver. I called it something else. 5 principles? Yeah, I think that's it. So the idea is that temperance is what we can do to control our consumption of all things, food, drink, work, play, etc. We learn to be able to restrain ourselves. I still have to work on that. After dinner, I had too many cookies last night. The next one, life will not go well. Life's going to have speed bumps, like the thing I forgot to do. The mistakes I make at work and at play. The too many cookies that I ate, etc. Mundane things, right? Not too bad, but, speed bumps along the way through life. And then the horror show. The horror show is the absolutely terrible stuff that happens. You're watching your dog get run over in the street, and worse yet, the car didn't kill them outright, and they sit to whine there, lay there in the street whining and suffering, bleeding out. Well, you don't know what to do. And you grab them and you shuttle them off to the vet. And they sit there on the side of the... I should give a disclaimer when I get to this principle. I sometimes describe horrifying things. Here, and I'm doing it right now. And your pet is there broken. In the seat as you're driving to the vet, gazing up at you, whimpering. Okay, there's enough of that. That's horror show level stuff. And I remind myself that those things are possible, that they will happen. They are happening right now. That one example I just gave isn't an example I pulled out of thin air. It's something that happened to me when I was about 17, and I ran over a dog in Mexico while I was driving in the night. That exact same thing happened to me. That was a horrifying moment. And if you're wondering what happened, the people that owned the dog, it was in a small village in Mexico, the Baja Peninsula, and I was only 17. And the people of the village basically came out. The kids got there right away, and then the adults, and they waved me on my way. It was they lived right off a main highway. Apparently this happens sometimes. Being 17, not knowing what to do, nothing. I was just a kid still. And I got in the car and went horrified. I remain horrified. I'm almost 59 now, and I'm still horrified by that event. And the dog, and I wonder sometimes what happened. And I wonder about the kids that came out and saw their pet run over by this gringo. Horror. Okay, that's the principle, right? The principle is to, and if you wonder, do you wonder what you could have done better? Or, yes, I do wonder what I could have done better. Could I have jumped, grabbed the dog, put it in the car, and taken it to whatever veterinarian facilities there were in that area? Yes, I could have done that. Could I have, taken out, a couple of $20 bills that I had in my pocket, which was a lot of money back in the 80s, more than it is now, and handed it to them to cover whatever expenses or whatever. I didn't have much. I was just a kid, just on an adventure. Yeah, I could have done that too. There's so many things I could have done. But the father came out, and he had that paternal look about him, and he had that stoic, I think the word is meme, M-E-I-M, or N, that appearance, that countenance, with the stubble and the appearance and the look in his eyes. And he just kind of told me to get in the car and go. And I acquiesced to that authority, and I got in the car and went. But I didn't leave I didn't leave that scene behind. I took it with me, and it's been with me all my life. It's a horrifying moment, and I think about the suffering and the pain of that dog. I'm going on and on. You can see what the horror show does, right? It works at the battlements of of our self-control and our resolve and our balance. I'm off balance right now. I didn't expect that. That's what happens with the horror show. It comes, it's like coming up and just like being shoved when we stand there, you know, with our feet astride, arms akimbo. And life comes up and just shoves us. And we're stumbling off. As stoic and as staid and as stable as we may seem to be. That's what happens. And that's how I feel right now. Every time I think this thought, I am. The horror show does that. And I don't know that I can weather it. I don't know what's going to happen the next time the horror arrives. And it's coming. It's happening all around me. The people around me could arrive in my life again today. I'm ready for it. I'm not ready for it. What do I mean? Keep telling myself that.